The number you have reached, 911, has been changed to a non-published number.
You're listening to UCW Radio. In your face.
Welcome to another segment of UCW Radio. This is your host, Lou, a.k.a. Falcon Coparis. And I want to thank all of our listeners again for the continued support just by listening to the show. As I continue to say, we're bringing more interesting guests on the show. We have a lot of good things going on. We're increasing syndication. We're taking on sponsors. We have a lot of things going on, so stick with us because it's going to be a fun ride. We've been talking about mixed martial arts on the UCW radio show, and this week we featured the matriarch. I call her the matriarch of mixed martial arts, Linda Shields. She is the founder, promoter, owner of Cage FX, or Cage Fighting Extreme. And today we are featuring what could be their next, actually let me correct that, could be their first Cage FX heavyweight champion. And this guy, he breaks all the stigmas as it relates to MMA fighters. He went to Brown University. He wrestled in Division I. He represented the United States when they traveled to China. And on top of that, he graduated on top of his class with honors and on the dean's list. So yeah, you have some very smart people in MMA today, so don't discount that. Now, before we bring him on the line, I have to give you some information. Listeners can actually call us with questions, comments, whatever you want to do. You'll know who our guests are going to be. Just go to ucwmagazine.com and you'll see who's going to be on there. You can call up, leave your questions or comments, and if they are interesting enough, we will pose them to our guests. If not, then not. The number is 323-952-4369. That's 323-952-4369. And call in, leave your comments, and hey. And again, if they're interesting enough, we'll get them on the show. Also, the UCW radio show, as I mentioned earlier, they have opened their doors to sponsorship partnerships. So marketers can actually find out more by going to ucwmagazine.com, join forces with the UCW radio show, and be a part of what we're doing, because we are growing and growing and growing. If you're on Twitter, you can shoot me out some questions, comments while we are live. Even if we're not live, you can do that. We'll read them off. And you can do that. You can tweet me. My Twitter name is Louis Velazquez. That's Louis Velazquez. Follow me and ask away. Now, I also need to let our listeners know something. That our guest, the guest that we have on the show today, he's been waiting on the line. And this is him waiting to go. This is prior to him going to his training session. The guy has a championship fight on Saturday, and he's taking time right this moment, waiting on hold for us on UCW Radio, so we do appreciate it. And I know he's running late, so to the people he's training with, my apologies. This will be a condensed interview because we need to let him get to his training, but we appreciate him taking the time out for this. Now, without further ado, let's patch in, which could be the Cage FX heavyweight champion, the first Cage FX heavyweight champion, Lee Beane. Lee, welcome to UCW Radio. Thank you for being here with us today. I know you're ready to go to your training session, so I appreciate you taking time out beforehand.
Oh, definitely. Thanks for having me. It's always good to talk MMA and in the future.
Okay, cool. Lee, you're a mixed martial arts fighter, mixed martial artist. You fight for Cage Fighting FX, which is run by and I call her the matriarch of mixed martial arts, Linda Shields.
Linda.
Yeah, Linda
That's
Shields. Right. She's great. But there's much more to you than meets the eye. And a lot of people, I guess there's a stigma about mixed martial artists, but you were a wrestler at Brown University. Go figure.
That's right. Yeah,
okay.
I think there is a big stigma about mixed martial artists. being kind of caveman-like, and that's not the case. There's a lot of educated people that fight because they enjoy the sport.
Right, without a doubt, and you're one of them. You were a Division I wrestler for Brown. You achieved many amazing things there. And one thing, and this people will find this interesting, one thing that you did achieve, that you competed in the junior national team, which represented the U.S. and China, right?
That's right. We went over. There were 13 of us on the team. We went over to China and wrestled their Olympic team as well as their junior Olympic team and some of their better club teams in the Beijing area.
All right, so that must have been an amazing thing for you to do that, actually.
Oh, that was an amazing trip. We're very lucky to be coached by Brandon Slay, who is an Olympic gold medalist in wrestling. Had some great teammates, a lot of guys. Phil Davis was actually on that team, who fights MMA as well.
Okay.
It was a great team, and it was an amazing experience for me. It was the first time and the only time I'd ever been out of the country, and China was great. We got to see so many things and do so many great things at the same time. Wrestle at such a high level is just great all the way around trip.
And I'm sure they treated you like royalty when you got off the plane.
Yeah, no, it was great over there. I'm very hospitable. It was a trip.
Now, Lee, let me ask you. You went from being a wrestler at Brown, you graduated, and just for those that are listening, he graduated on the Dean's List. All right, go figure. That's fantastic. Now, you went from there, and you're a professional now in your own personal life, but you're also a professional in the cage. How did all that get started for you?
I actually fought once while I was at Brown, back before they really had pro and amateur up here in the Northeast.
Mm-hmm.
And then I didn't fight again until after I graduated. When I graduated, I started working, spending a lot of time working. Started back in the gym, helping some of the local guys get ready for their fights, working at Bishop's Gym or Lozon's Gym, working with Danny and Joe Lozon, Chuck O'Neill, Tony Lead, all the local guys, helping them with their wrestling and translating wrestling to MMA. And I just started being in the gym so much, and I had fought, and I said, I'd like to fight again. I'm in the gym so much, why not?
And then you started.
And from there, I just
go ahead.
From there, I just jumped back into training. Last August, I started training 3 or 4 days a week, and periodically picked it up to 5 or 6 days a week, and had my first fight in 4 years in January. And then I fought January. I fought in April, June, August, and I'm scheduled to fight this Saturday night, and then also again in November.
So, but your first fight was with Cage FX, right?
Well, my first fight was a long time ago, before Cage FX was formed for a different organization, which no longer is up and running. And my last 4 fights have been for Cage FX.
Okay, and how's that experience fighting for Cage FX?
It's awesome. Between Gary and Linda and Mike Varner, Gary Foreman, obviously Linda Shields, Dave Haggerty, just everyone that has something to do with Cage FX. The shows run real smooth. They treat the fighters well. And it's just the shows are a good time. They're a good experience. I find my fans that come to support me, enjoy the shows, enjoy the atmosphere, the other things that go on at the shows, and they also put a lot of fights on the card, which some people think is a negative thing, but as far as being a fight fan and having fans go, they love it because you're paying the same price as you pay to go anywhere else, and you get to see more fights.
You get more bang for your buck, and that's what it comes down to. Yeah, and that's fantastic. Now, you've been down that road. You said you went from training 2 days a week, 3, 4, training almost every day, and now you're in the swing of things, and you're fighting consistently or frequently with Cage FX. You can't fight every week or every month because then it doesn't work. There's no way you can do it. But can you tell us the road of an MMA fighter, a regular MMA fighter that's not, swung into UFC or Affliction or anything like that? Because most people don't see the struggle. They just see the end result. They don't see the struggle for an MMA fighter that's just getting into the game or even has been in the game for a year.
Yeah, I mean, it's real tough. Obviously I have to work I work a full-time job. I work anywhere between 50 and 60 hours a week, and then I still get to the gym. I try to get 6 days a week, at least 5 days a week. So, if we're talking Monday through Sunday, I start on Mondays, get up, I'll try and do cardio in the morning and go to work, come home from work, and I put about 2 hours in the gym, mainly working on my wrestling and a little bit of my jiu-jitsu. Tuesday, get up, go to work. Tuesday night, I go to my main gym, which is Y Crew in Alston, Mass, with John Allen. So we're at Doomsday. John Howard trains out of, who fights in the UFC. I'm usually there for 2.5 to 3 hours on Tuesdays. Mm-hmm. Same thing, go home, go to bed. Wednesday, wake up, go to work. After working about 10 to 12-hour days, depending on the week. Wednesday, I come in and do another grappling and groundwork for about 2.5 hours on Wednesday night. Thursday, get up, do cardio, go to work, go back to Y Crew up in Austin for 2.5 to 3 hours. Mostly working on my Muay Thai and my stand-up, and then towards the end of the time that I'm there, working on my jiu-jitsu. Friday nights, Friday I'll work. Friday night I go to Joe Lozon's gym in Bridgewater, Mass, and work with Chuck O'Neill or Joe or whoever happens to be there. Working on stand-up grappling. That's kind of whoever's there we'll work on. Depends on who's there to work with. What we'll work on, stand-up or ground game. Saturdays, wake up. I might get a workout in the morning, I might not, and then Saturday afternoon I go up to Y Crew for about 3 hours, usually about 2 to 5. Workout out there, come home, and then Sundays I'll take off, or if I missed a cardio workout in the morning, during the week I'll do a good cardio workout on Sunday afternoon.
Well, that takes a lot of dedication. I mean, you're working hard and you're working out hard. I mean, that's your life. You're working and working out. Do you get support from your family? Did they say, "Hey, Lee, you're out of your mind," or
they do tell me that I'm kind of out of my mind with how much I work, and I have 2 little girls. I have 2 daughters, 2.5, and my younger one just turned 1 last week.
Oh, congratulations!
And I have them half the time. I have them Thursday night, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and they go back into Sunday night or Monday morning. So I do get a lot of support. My aunt or my mother or someone watching them so I can work out, or during the day when I'm working, and my brothers are around, and I have a pretty good support system to help me out with everything I need, that makes it possible for me to be able to train and get to the gym, and just make sure that everything runs smoothly.
Yeah, but that's good, because I think that's important, especially when you're in a situation where you're building up with an organization like CageFX, because CageFX, the way I'm looking at it, they're just ramping up. The way UFC was way back when, which right now UFC is well capitalized, and they have it's going to be $1 billion business, but they have that going on. You're in a unique position, but it takes, right now, you're going through the rough road of having to train as much and work and do everything else. You just can't make fighting your living right now.
Right, it's just not financially feasible.
No, because there's no way you can do it, because the money's not there. But that's now. But things could change in the future. Now you're doing all that. You're training. You've been training hard lately, and I know. And I said this in the beginning of the show, that you are talking to me right now in between your work and you're going to go to the gym, you're going to go train. So you took this time out to speak with us, and I appreciate it. You have a fight scheduled for this Saturday. Tell us about the fight. Tell us what's going on.
Well, how this fight came about, it's actually someone that I fought in April by the name of Jason Doloff. I fought him back in April, and we both entered the heavyweight tournament that Cage Fighting Extreme was holding. And this was supposed to be the semifinal, but unfortunately the other side of the bracket fell apart due to some issues. I'm not really sure what they were. So this is actually going to be for the title. So this is going to be a five-minute round fight for the Cage Fighting Extreme title this Saturday night. I'm really looking forward to it, to go out, put on a good show, and end it in a exciting way, and continue on my path. So
let me just expand on that thought, Lee. Right, you are fighting for the CageFX heavyweight crown.
Correct.
If you should win, which I think that you're going to, so let's say you win, you're going to be the first CageFX champion.
That's right.
That's nice. And that's making history because in 5 years, KJFX, they're national, everything else. You say, hey, I was the first champion. How do you like them apples?
Yeah, I get to be a nice. Hopefully, I get to be a nice trivia answer question in the future.
Yeah, there you go. You'll be on Trivial Pursuit or something. So now you have this event going on. Where's the event? It's happening. I forget the.
Yeah, it's in Mansfield, Mass. At the M-Plex in Mansfield.
Right. That's the Mansfield Sportsplex.
Correct.
But if your local is the M-Plex, that I remember. I was talking to Linda about that. That I remember. So, and now tickets are still available for that show, right?
Tickets are still available. You can get them through any of the fighters or through CageFX.com.
Okay, now what's your future look like with fighting? Is this something that you want to continue to do?
I'd love to continue to do it, and I don't think anyone that fights regularly wouldn't like to be able to do it full time. And if it came to the point where financially I could support myself and my kids, then I would definitely love to do that. I just think right now, as you know, it's a tough thing to do.
Yeah.
I'm going to continue to fight. I'm going to fight as often as I possibly can. I mean, I think by the end of this year I'll have had 6 fights. I think that's pretty active, especially in New England where there's not exactly a ton of guys to fight. So, hopefully making the next steps.
Yeah, then you go and you forge forward and I mean it's possible. See, UFC, they work a little differently now, where they're making the new entries into UFC go through that Ultimate Fighter situation. But for you, if CageFX continues to grow, which I think that they will, you may have no shortage of talent to fight.
No, that'd be great.
Yeah, because then it'll allow you to just hone your skills and get in there and keep showing people on a national scale, what you're made of. Because with CageFX building up, UFC, yeah, they're horrendous. Dana White, he built an empire, and the marketing behind it is awesome. But there's always room for another organization there. And even though you have Affliction, that's okay, but that's money thrown in there. This is grassroots. This is, this is a homegrown situation, which basically is better for the fighters. Because it's not just people coming in, we're gonna go and we're gonna pay you this, pay you that, we're gonna put together a fight. The matchmaker is actually putting together true fights where you guys are not fighting for the money, you're fighting for the honor.
Right.
Okay, because the money's not there right now. Now, are you familiar with the other fights that are going on that evening?
Some of them, yes. Okay,
do you want to mention a couple of them so our listeners can get a better idea of the talent that's bred out of New England?
Well, I think someone I'm very close with by the name of Robbie LaRue. Rob is a wrestler. We wrestled together in high school. We took a little different path after high school. College wasn't really for Rob. He did keep up his wrestling. We've done a lot of the similar things over the years, working together. And I think that he's going to come out as he's fighting for the first time ever, and he's going to come out as a pro. I think his fight's going to be a very exciting fight. I think you're going to see him come in and show that he's been working on his stand-up, working on his hands, his kicks, his punches, and come in and when it's time, take the fight to the ground and finish the fight. Also looking forward to see Steve Dunn, the Sandman. Incredible. Been able to do some workouts with Steve, and it's exciting to see. He's a little bit older, but he's really putting the time and the effort in. Sean Baker, looking forward to see Sean Baker fight. Tough guy, learning the sport. Was kind of a stand-up brawler, learning wrestling and jiu-jitsu. Brett O'Terry, he's always great to watch. Brett started training up at Waiku. We used to train together back down by me at Bishop's Gym and a little bit at Lozon's. And, he started to make the trek up to Waiku, which is the gym that I fight mainly out of. And he's just so impressive. His wrestling, his stand-up, and, he's great to watch. I'm sure I'm going to miss someone. Sean Galano and Artie Mullen. That ought to be a great heavyweight fight. Both of those guys are going to want to stand in the center of the cage and throw bombs. Rick Hahn, very good judo player. He should be a very exciting fight to have to see. That there's going to be some great fights on this card.
Well, Lee, let me ask you this. I mean, that sounds like an awesome card that's lined up for the 12th of September in Mansfield. Now, I'm just curious because I know we don't have a lot of time with you today, but maybe for fighters that or soon-to-be fighters, someone that's looking to venture into the MMA game, these young guys that are trying to get into it, what advice can you give them?
I think the first piece of advice I can give you is, take your time and make sure you're doing the right thing and doing it because you enjoy it, not because you want to be a superstar or make a bunch of money. I think that's the first thing. And the second thing I think is, you need to find the right gym. Now up here in the Northeast, in Massachusetts, New England area, I recommend Y Crew in Alston, phenomenal. Crew John and just everybody that's up there are they're great people. It's a wonderful place to be and learning so much every day that I'm there. And I also recommend Lozon's, Joe Lozon MMA. Joe fights in the UFC. His brother Danny just signed a contract to fight in the UFC. Some great guys, some great trainers out of there as well.
Okay, that's awesome. That's awesome. I think that if any young guys in the New England area that they're looking to venture into MMA, first they should come to you as well. And
you can get me on Facebook. Just shoot me a message. It's Lee Beane, Beane. I'd be more than happy to talk with anybody about a fledgling MMA career, or even if it's just training or whatever, wrestling, anything.
Okay, there you go. Just look up Lee Beane on Facebook and just connect with him because he is a great guy. And again, I know you're running to the gym, so I'm not going to keep you. I do want to thank you for taking time out today for this interview. I think that your career or your future is bright in mixed martial arts. I think that you're going to do horrendously in a good way on Saturday. And I think the next time we talk, it's going to be with a belt around your waist.
That's the plan.
There you go. There you go. All right, for anyone that's listening, go to CageFX.com. Check out Lee Beane. Check out all the other fighters. Definitely go September 12th, Mansfield, Mass. Go to the Mplex and watch a great event. Watch a great event, and you can see history and see Lee Beane become the first CageFX champion.
Initiating shutdown sequence.
What is your major malfunction?
So let it be written. So let it be done.
Ladies and gentlemen, my mother thanks you, my father thanks you, my sister thanks you, and I thank you.